What is the craziest thing that's happened while celebrating the Mass?
I was a missionary in Guatemala for 8 years, and that was a real shift for me because it was something that all the people in the town or the village went to. All the animals would come in too.
One time it was Holy Thursday here at St. Vincent's, and I'm doing the Eucharistic prayer, and I see all these people kind of murmuring and talking in the front, and it's like they're at church all the time and they don't normally do that, and then all of a sudden I see a little mouse like zip across the floor.
These dogs and cats started fighting with each other, and and they got louder and louder and jumping on each other, and people were trying to calm them down, and it didn't work. Then a couple of the chickens got involved, and they started running around, and these people were running after the chickens, running after the dogs, running after the cats, and I couldn't stop laughing. It was at this very solemn occasion.
The craziest thing that ever happened to me was during a wedding mass, and weddings themselves are crazy. During the consecration, everybody kneels down, and one of the flower children, one of the flower girls, comes running down the aisle, screaming at the top of her lungs, and begins running around the sanctuary while I'm doing the Eucharistic prayer.
During the Eucharistic prayer, there's a family kind of sitting over on the left-hand side, and a little boy about 2 or so, and he took off. And I could hear just a pitter-patter of little feet running, and zipped up to the front, all the way across the front.
And then comes to the other side of the altar and starts jumping up and down. Nobody stopped her, nobody said anything.
All the way to the other side of the church as I'm like holding up the bread and wine.
And I just had to concentrate on, let's get through the Mass, let's get through the Mass.
It's like, I'm trying not to laugh because I think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen, but I have to be like all stoic, and it was the hardest thing for me to do, to not just bust out laughing. And the parents were horrified. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it.
Was Thanos correct in his plan to eliminate half the population?
Thanos wasn't correct because Thanos is not God. So, I mean, you start with that. But then you could get into all kinds of really nerdy, liberal artsy. So Thanos comes from a different culture. Are we imposing our belief system on Thanos? The word Thanos means death, so in Greek. So you already know something bad is going on with the character. Was it a humanitarian act? I don't know. It's undone, and I'm not dust anymore, so I'm happy.
I would say no. Eliminating people, I don't see how that's in any way good.
You could find a parallel even in Genesis with God, with the Creator, so frustrated with the human beings that God had created, that decided to just get rid of them and we'll start from scratch. In fact, it wasn't even clear that he was going to start again. It was just very tired by where human beings had gone, where they had chosen to go. And so the impotence for the flood was to destroy everything, with the exception of those few believers and just people that are represented by Noah, and they would start the new world or the new creation. But it's very hard to warm up to a kind of God that would do that. Would destroy everybody, and it's unique in the scriptures because you don't find it in other places. That's what I think about when I see that movie Thanos and see what happens. Pretty horrifying, actually.